Yep, she isn't trying to hurt him. Now she is, but she's just trying to protect herself. It's not out of anger. Okay, but this definitely is. Oh, he's hugging her. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and today I'll be reacting to Tales of the Empire episode 4 and 5. So I am skipping over episode 3 because that is, I believe, the end of Morgan Elsbeth's story. And I'm saving both the endings of these to react to before I get to Rebels, because apparently that is where it makes more sense chronologically. So just for now, I'm watching the beginning of both characters' story. And in the last part of this thing, Morgan Elsbeth got a very interesting start to whatever her journey is going to be. Witch on Dathomir, got to see it destroyed, and she got set on this path where I described it as like a missile without a target, which I think is what's going on there. She's got a lot of drive, a lot of motivation, all stemming from revenge and trying to avenge her people, yet she has no idea where to point it towards. So it looks like she's got picked up by the Empire and they're now going to use that sort of power, and that sort of, they're going to use her power for whatever their means are in the end. Now this story follows Barriss Offee. Now I'm very interested to see where her story goes, especially with the trailer. So in Clone Wars, she was already just an interesting character with what she did to Ahsoka during the trial. And it's sad because in Clone Wars, we only got to see her introduction and then her ending. Yet there's so much that went on in between, which I got filled in. And I know what happens with like all the stuff that she went on. I think she sort of kind of fell in love. But she had someone, I think they died, she was a healer, Luminara kept pushing her to do this stuff, she got to see all the gruesome horror of the battlefield, got disillusioned by what the Jedi became, and I think even Palpatine took an interest in her at some point. So it's very clear that she's a very complex character, and I almost think of her on the same sort of thing as Qui-Gon, because she's very different from the Council, like him, and she didn't fall for what the Jedi were selling. She saw they were meant to be better. Yet she went about it in the complete wrong way and decided to blow stuff up, which is not great, and she framed Ahsoka. So I'll be very interested just to see if we get, like, what happens with her now, because I know this is going to go more into her story beyond Clone Wars, but I don't know if it'll go into more of her past, or just seeing why she chose, well, I mean, we kind of know why she chose to go against them, but I'd like to see some of it, I guess. Yeah, then another thing I know that's coming with this is the Inquisitors. I know a little bit about them from what I've been told, but the only thing I've seen from them is one bird-looking dude in Tales of the Jedi, which fought Ahsoka. He died very quickly and he deflated like a balloon, but his design was absolutely awesome, so I cannot wait to see what on earth this whole organization is, because we had hints of it in Clone Wars when Palpatine went and got Cad Bane to kidnap children to try and make a Force army. So I'm guessing that's what this whole thing is, but I just want to see more detail of what is going on here. Because I know they're not Sith, because that would break the rule of two. They are simply just Force wielders who are basically their soldiers. They're not taught the dark side-ness sort of thing. They are just enforcers, I guess. So yeah, very interested to see how Barriss Offee plays into that and just more information on them. I think this should be a very cool 2 episodes. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I do a Patreon, the link will be in the description. Over there I'm uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in. Already amazing start. Lightsabers, slashing, screams. That's what she's hearing. Order 66, is this what's going on? Is that what you're hearing? So locked up in prison. So why do they spare you from Order 66 then? Yep, destruction. I'm assuming that's the Jedi Temple.
Tell me what's happening. Has there been an attack?
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Okay, so they're okay with that? Ahsoka wasn't a Jedi and you still tried to kill her. So some technicalities work. She's still a Force wielder. Just surprised you don't exterminate her, since Palpatine's whole vendetta against them was basically religious, so he just trying to exterminate them all. That means he must specifically have selected her to be spared, because he know he had interest in her, so that's why he wants to use her now.
Stand up, Barriss Offee.
Who's this?
Lynn?
You know her?
I don't go by that name anymore. Things have changed.
Just Sith eyes.
You are serving a life sentence for crimes against the Republic. But at your trial, you accused the Jedi of murder and treason.
Okay, so that's why, okay, but what's happening with, like, so I'm guessing you're a Jedi because you had the Sith eyes, but you've turned.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Barriss. A rare and precious opportunity.
So is it you that's basically got on her this position? If she denies, she gets killed. Okay, so yeah, it's you. You're reaching out. Otherwise, Palpatine would have ordered her execution. You're going along with it because you don't know what it is. You just see it as something different from the Jedi Council. You're so... Okay. So this new... Because they're not meant to be Sith, right? They're just... I feel like they're Dark Jedi. They're Force wielders who basically use the lightsabers and Force stuff, but they're not Sith. They're not privy to that information. Yet the eyes... Is that only dark side? Or is it like full-on Sith with the eyes? Under construction? So they're building something here in the middle of the ocean, so that must be something that needs defending. Only accessible by ship. Probably not very easy to get there through a boat. I'm guessing very well guarded. Oh, this is much bigger than... Okay. Oh, underwater bit. That's cool.
Barris.
Dante.
Okay, so everyone knows each other. Got some maybe Padawans?
I thought you were in prison.
Nice to see you too, Amar.
No, so you didn't know them, so...
You're here because the Jedi failed the Republic. And now that they're gone, we must build a new covenant
Your head is huge.
for the security of our empire.
What empire?
You don't know.
To the first galactic empire, Barris Ophi. Out of chaos, Emperor Palpatine will bring order.
Okay, so this is what you're selling them. So you're still on that whole thing, so Palpatine's manipulating you lot as well.
Prove yourselves worthy of this task today, and you may join us.
Join us in what? I need descriptions.
You may go to your quarters. I advise you not to leave until we meet again.
This is still so cagey. They're not giving a lot of information for what this whole thing is. And he also has the yellow eyes. So is that just dark side thing? You don't have to be Sith to have the yellow eyes?
Doesn't sound any better than the Jedi, Dante. Whatever all this is, it's not what we thought.
So they're all still angry. So they're all angry at the Jedi and the Council and everything like that.
I wouldn't.
Why should we listen to you?
So because if you leave, you're not going to be one of them, so you're going to be killed because you're still Force sensitive. The music's amazing again, yeah. Oh, wow, that looks incredibly cool at night now. Seeing the two moons, and maybe another planet in the background.
Follow me.
It's still very cagey. It feels slow and like mysterious. They're not giving a lot of information away. I get that it's like on Barris's part, but I need the information. It's quite fun how they're doing it. I feel like I'm almost in Barris's position with how they're just not giving any information.
Your friend had a terrible accident. Sadly, we must proceed without him.
Ah, yep, dead. Blood.
Please take the boy. Barris, come with me.
Okay, we're going to see this guy. So are these all former Jedi then? I'd have to assume that because the Empire can't really pick these people up out of nowhere who are, I guess, trained in the Force. I want to know like how on earth they managed to survive Order 66 and like pledge their allegiance to the Empire. We didn't see any clones give any Jedi a chance.
The lessons you learn from the Jedi greatly limit your power. But I will help you overcome this weakness.
Trying to unteach her what she's been taught.
Take this weapon and attack me.
Very un-Jedi-like. Would she go for this? Because she's far more like... She saw the good. She's more good than the Jedi Order, kind of.
You're holding back. It makes you predictable.
I'm just avoiding and evading. Using her power against her. That feels Jedi-like.
Better.
Music's awesome. Oh! Nose block. Palm thing. Oh, nicked him.
Now I feel your anger.
Is he trying to make it angry so she'll reach into the dark side? Ow! That made clicking sounds. Blood.
Perhaps you're not as powerful as we...
Ooh! Okay, so he made her reach into anger. That's the thing she had. Did she do that in Clone Wars? I don't think she did. It wasn't out of anger. And that's exactly what he wanted. Okay, this guy's cool. He feels dangerous, and so he's like instructing the Padawans now. So he is what the Jedi Order has become. This is so where you have the Republic and the Jedi Order. They sort of work together. Now you have the Empire and the Inquisitors, and this is how they're doing it. So they, instead of the Jedi going around recruiting the Force sensitives, these guys go around doing it and turning them to the dark side to work for the Empire. That is interesting. So Palpatine isn't letting all the Force sensitives go to waste, he's still using them. Giant hole in the ground?
I must confess, you've impressed us. You both have.
Okay, both of you in here and they're up high on another platform.
There is only room in our ranks for one.
Really? You have a limit?
Let's face one final test.
Kill each other. Only one lightsaber?
You may choose not to fight, of course.
I don't think that's an option.
In which case, both of you will die.
Okay. I heard the point of his lesson was to not use the lightsaber, to use the Force. Is this what's going to happen here?
We don't have to do this.
Then you die.
They won't kill us.
They will.
They killed Amar, didn't they?
They killed all the rest of the Jedi. Oh, yep, in anger.
What are you doing?
Embracing the future.
Okay, I like how Barriss is doing this. She turned off the lightsaber. Oh, but no, now she's attacking. But it's defensive. That's following what this guy did. Yep, she isn't trying to hurt him. Now she is, but she's just trying to protect herself. It's not out of anger. Okay, but this definitely is. That's interesting. You killed him straight there. You cracked his neck, then you let him fall. That was a dead body falling in there. He didn't die when he hit the bottom. You killed him there. That's dark. Her eyes still haven't turned though. And you have a helmet. Lovely. That's nice. She's still going along with it. I thought she might have a different reaction to actually taking a life like that. But is the dark side fully with her now?
Brothers, sisters, enter.
Oh, okay. Not that many of you. I thought maybe we're not. Bird guy! I call him he's bird guy because the mask like a beak, right? So he's just a giant... His biology confused me. He died and he was just a gas. So who's the other one? You're cloaked.
Now it is time you meet your new master.
Oh. And they all kneel. Okay. Anakin. Okay, how's this gonna go? You seen Barriss? You know her, so anger that made you lash out at her?
Rise, Inquisitors.
Okay, so she is fully one of them.
Live the Empire.
Her suit feels a lot less, it feels underwhelming compared to the others. It's gonna look better when she puts the helmet on.
Long live the Empire.
Okay, kind of cool. And ending there. That is interesting. Okay, I do like that episode. Basically, it didn't give her a lot away. It feels very in the dark, and I feel like that's what Barriss is going through. She doesn't fully understand what on earth this is. I don't understand what this is at all. So it feels like if the audience doesn't know, it's very much like whatever Barriss is going through. So yeah, so just trying to look at her personality and what she was doing, and just her character. So it starts off with her being confused, not knowing what's going on, just being told that the Republic has been reorganized into the Empire, and that I guess the Jedi Order has been reorganized into the Inquisitors. So she isn't really... And does she have any experience with, like, the dark side? I don't think any Jedi do. They just have, like, Dooku as the example of what the dark side is. They're not able to recognize the traits of what the dark side is. So the yellow eyes is a giveaway that someone's in the dark side to, I guess, the audience, but not really to Padawans. Because they're not taught what happens when you turn to the dark side. Yeah, so Barriss starts off confused, gets brought into it because it's her only option. She's basically just trying to survive at this point. She's going along with it because she wants to live. She is a survivor. That's what she's doing. She was looking out for herself to make sure she stayed alive. Then it came to the fight between her and the other Padawan. Would they be called Padawans here, or like, what do you call an apprentice Inquisitor? Is there like a name for that? Well, I'm just going to keep calling them Padawans now. So they're just fighting it out, doing that sort of thing. But the fight was just interesting in itself because it starts off with Barriss being defensive. She didn't try to attack him, but the kid tried to attack her. She didn't have the lightsaber, which mirrors what happened with her fight with the big-headed dude, and that means she was going to win. She is immediately fighting like the guy who's already in the position that she's going for. So she's going to win from that. But the fight is just interesting how it basically shows she's losing herself into the dark side. She started off defensive, then it basically got more personal and more angry. It didn't come down to just trying to save herself, which she could have done by just pushing him into the pit. She killed him in a much more personal and dark way, actually doing the force choke, and not just choking and letting him dangle in the air. She fully snapped the neck and then let him drop. So she killed him, then the body dropped. So it wasn't like the Four killed him, she did it. She very personally did it. It's very evident that dark side users they wield the Force to kill their enemies, while the Jedi use lightsabers. I know that Palpatine only used lightsabers because he basically used it as a mockery for the Jedi. Otherwise, he would have just used the Force. And I guess that's the fully abusement of the Force, using it to take lives instead of using it to help people. That is very much dark side. So Baz has now done that. But her eyes still haven't turned yellow. So I'm guessing it's because she doesn't fully know what she's doing. She doesn't really... does she know that this is like... I mean, obviously Force choking and killing someone, that's very much dark side. But it's not really the full understanding of what she's doing. She's doing it to survive. She had no other option. Yeah, definitely very interested on whatever's going on with the other Inquisitors then. So you have Lynn and Big Head. They were yellow eyes, all that. And Lynn and Barriss knew each other, so I'm assuming Lynn was obviously a Jedi in the Jedi Order. She must have been spared by the clones. What's happened there? I need to know what on earth happened for the clones to spare Jedi, because it felt like it was just a massive free-for-all. They just shot whoever was in sight, if they're a Jedi or not, and they just went about it. How on earth did one manage to convince them to not do that, and to actually spare their life? It must have been very in-the-moment sort of thing, to abandon all your Jedi teaching and then go, like, what could you have done to stop them from firing on you? You're still a Force sensitive. Even Ahsoka they fired on, who wasn't even part of the Jedi Order at the time. So it makes me wonder they would have had to have joined in on Order 66 to actually, like, get any trust with them. Because if they just stayed absent from it, they would have still tried, the clones would have still tried to kill them. So they must have had to do something very dark in the instant of Order 66 to actually be accepted into the Empire. And it seems like there's only 4 that's done it, but you don't get to see who the other 2 are. Birdman is gas, so how is he like a Jedi? Then you have this other one who's in the cloak. Cool design, cool helmet, that we don't get anything other from them. Hopefully maybe next episode we get to see something from them. Yeah, hopefully we'll get more info on them soon, because this of course is Barriss' story, so we're not going to get loads of information on a bunch of other characters, so I do like that it's focused on Barriss, and that we've gotten to see what immediately happened at Order 66, and just seeing that everything is basically out of her control. She didn't willingly go along with it. It was her only option. So I like that it makes sense for her character. She wasn't evil. She did do a terrorist act, but she did it in the belief that the Jedi Order were corrupted, which she was right with. She was correct. So this makes sense in that she just doesn't have the information and can't decide for herself. I feel like if she knew everything that was going on, she would have chosen to just jump down the pit. Since she doesn't know what's going on, she's probably scared, her life's in danger, of course she's going to have to fight back because she doesn't understand what's happening. But yeah, I do like the little bit of information we did get on the Inquisitors here, that they are basically the replacement for the Jedi Order. You have the Empire, which is the replacement for the Republic, and where the Jedi Order was, you now have the Inquisitors. That's what's taking it over, so I'm assuming they're going to be the ones in charge of rounding up Force sensitives and then, I guess, putting them through this. And so yeah, they said that the places were limited. Does that mean there's only ever going to be 5 of them? Because that seems quite small for an army of Force-wielding people. And like a dark Force-wielding army. That feels, yeah. I'm just surprised there's only 5. There's never been really a rule against 5. Loads of Jedi all got killed. Only 2 Sith, only 5 Inquisitors. Yeah, so Vader at the end. That seems very interesting. He looks awesome in this animation style. But I'm just wondering, like, what's going on in his head then? Because he must absolutely hate Barriss still for what she did to Ahsoka. And so, like, why is he so okay with her being there? Because obviously he would recognize her. But then again, Barriss doesn't know that Vader is Anakin. No one knows, really. It feels like it would be a very hostile work environment, I'll say that. I'm surprised Anakin didn't just kill her. Given that he now has this power, and he, I guess, has every right to kill her for what she did to his apprentice, Ahsoka. I mean, he could easily blame Barriss for what he believes Ahsoka, or what he believes happened to Ahsoka. He believes that she's dead. He found the lightsabers at the crash site. Though, of course, he'd think that she's dead and probably would blame Barriss for it, as that's what made her leave the Jedi Order, and if she was there, maybe he could have spared her and saved her. So there must have been so much anger towards Barriss, so I'm interested to see what happens there. Like, I want more interaction there. It feels like something that I want dived into more. But yeah, on to the next episode. The suits for those 2 feel so bland compared to the others.
From the intel, it seems unclear whether a Jedi is involved or not.
The Grand Inquisitor wouldn't send us here if the intel wasn't credible.
Grand Inquisitor, is that Big Head?
You should know better than to question that.
There's already friction. Your eyes still aren't yellow. Wouldn't that be like a red flag for the other Inquisitors to see that her eyes still haven't turned? So she's already questioning things, so it must not be in that long. This place is in ruins, wow. What did the Empire do here? Everyone's terrified of them. What does that mean for Barris? Does she notice this? What does she think of this?
These people have nothing. How can the Emperor allow this to happen?
Questioning.
When the people show loyalty to the Empire, they will be allowed to flourish, but not before.
Then let's complete our mission and allow them to prosper.
You don't like this. You don't like this. There's friction. Okay, you're How? And you're still clearly not in the dark side fully. Because, yeah, you killed the one guy, but you're still... Would you still be considered light side of the Force then, even after doing that? I would assume that doing that and killing him would have immediately made her eyes yellow. But yet she's still sort of questioning it. She's not being tempted by the dark side.
Where is the Jedi hiding?
There's no Jedi here.
You would be wise to tell me.
So I believe Barris is going along with this because she might think it's better than what the Jedi Order was.
You know something. All right. You can tell me.
Is she going to get it out of him?
Is that better?
She's too kind for this.
You should tell me the truth. Was there a Jedi here?
I love the two approaches that's been going on. You have the one that's being all threatening, and you have Barris all soft and nice.
Sister. The mountains.
Oh.
You gave me your word.
Yeah, no, Barris ain't gonna be like, she's not gonna be down for this. Oh! Oh, the screams are horrifying. Yep, it's just murder. Oh, he's hugging her! Oh yeah, no, this is definitely her first mission, isn't it? There's no way she's on board with this or would ever do something like this. She's in the dark side. Would you spare the child since that one gave the info? Monstrous. Barris, vouch. Okay, some honor, maybe? Yeah, leaving the child? So yeah, that's a whole lot of anger. You definitely don't have that. Like his parents were probably in there, weren't they? Okay, it's not going to say a word, not sorry, so you're just going along with this? That not disillusion you at all? Just walking ahead. There's definitely a divide between these two.
Rebellion creates chaos. Eliminating it brings order.
But creating fear will turn the people against us.
They were already against us.
I like this back and forth. They both have good points. Shaking. Earthquake.
Look out!
Hey. Oh! Ooh! I'm leaving you. Okay, there's... The one Inquisitor's doing a very bad job of just keeping Barris on board. I'm surprised they haven't noticed that she is not in the dark side. Ooh, smoky fight scene. Barris just isn't joining. Oh, going for the kill.
You're a traitor and a murderer.
Not true!
So you're actually trying to talk to them. That's more than the other one did. You can, oh, I do like the weird lightsaber thing. It's like what Morn has. So everyone has that sort of thing now. Just a standard issue dual rotating lightsaber.
The Jedi are gone.
Oh, she's strong.
Hubris, but you don't have to.
That's what's keeping you
Set
here.
down your weapon.
It's the fact that it's just different from the Jedi. Not that it's better, just that it's different. That's all that's keeping you here.
I feel so alone.
Oh.
Then come with me.
See, she definitely could be a good... Yeah, dead. She could be a good something. She is not built for the Empire. You're not happy with that? You can't be.
We need to get them to the ship. We can save them.
Forget it. Let them die.
There we go. Are you going to go along with this? Really? There's got to be your first mission.
Are a threat to be eradicated wherever they are found.
There we go. And you stopped. Yes, okay, you realise they're not better than the Jedi, they're just different.
Then you have one Jedi left to deal with.
Oh, so you're still claiming to be one. Oh! Okay, that was fast. Just chucked her off the cliff. Cool. Okay, so you've gone back to being a Jedi, but can you just be like a better version of what they were? Okay, so your run as an Inquisitor was very short-lived. That's interesting.
I won't let you die. You're not alone.
Oh. So she is going to become like a good sort of character in like the whole Empire error. Okay, that episode was very good, but I have to assume that that's got to be Barriss' like first mission. I kind of want a bit more seeing her in that. It's a shame, because yeah, that means I guess if she's left it now, there's no seeing her with Vader, so that's kind of a shame that he's only brought back for a little cameo. Yeah, I like how much that went into just who Barriss is. So she's very much only gone along with it because she hasn't been given all the information and she just thought it was different from the Jedi Order. No, she thought it was better, but she didn't realise that it's not. It's only different and it's kind of worse. Which makes sense for why she went along with it and why she got this close to like a dark side thing, because she just didn't understand what it actually was. So it did allow her to be in this cool situation in like an Inquisitor thing. But yeah, her coming out of it quickly makes a lot of sense because she is very, I think she spent a lot of time just reading about Jedi stuff, and she's just a very light person, like Jedi. She's nothing like the Council. She was always like, she saw through it all. So it definitely doesn't make sense for her to become a dark side wielder, because she's still good and she sees through the dark side of the Jedi. I will say, I feel like this is very short. The story itself is good, but it needs a lot more time to, I guess, have the impact that it wants. I think the Tales of the Jedi did a good job at condensing all things down into very good short stories. This one, I feel like they need so much more time for it. The story itself is interesting, but I'm surprised they got Barriss out of the Inquisitor thing already. I'd have thought that would come maybe third episode after it's been a while. This feels like she's in it and out of it, next mission. That feels like way too quick, and I feel like it needs so much more time for that. Yes, it makes sense because she is just a light Jedi in general. She's very far away from the dark. Then that makes less sense on why on Earth the other Inquisitors would trust her. They all have the yellow eyes. They know, they just by looking at each other, they know they're on the dark side. Looking at Barriss, entirely different. They know that she isn't there yet. Even through all of her actions during this, Lynn would be very obviously be able to see that Barriss is not on her side. The conflict, the constant tension that she has between them. Why on earth would you trust this person? She's nothing like the rest of the Inquisitors. She's nothing like the Jedi. So if she's not dark side, not like the Jedi, she must be above the Jedi. That's the only conclusion it kind of comes down to. So it's hard to see how the other Inquisitors can have trust in her, or at least see her as being in line with them. I felt like I wanted to see her go down a darker path. Maybe even though that she saw this was different, maybe she indulged it, seeing that there is no other option left in the galaxy. It's too hard to fight the Empire, it's too big. What can you do during this? So go down into it and then be brought out of it near the end of the Empire. So actually have this one as an Inquisitor, do whatever it is they're doing, do it for a while, sink into the dark side and then come out of it. It just feels like a waste to put her in this situation for it to just be over so quickly. If she is this light of a Jedi, why on earth even entertain this idea? Because it was her only option, but then it just feels very hollow and just there was nothing to indulge. It was just wearing a costume, basically. I don't know, I think I just hoped for a little bit more when it came to the Inquisitor side of this for Barriss. Okay, to start off, I definitely enjoyed this story of just seeing Barriss and going through this, but I feel like it could have been done better. I feel like it should have taken longer. I feel like there should have been far more time given to this sort of story. Dooku's thing was said in the past. We knew bits and pieces about what his whole thing was. You have Ahsoka, where it's again it's one bit of origin, then doing flashbacks, and then giving context for where she is after Clone Wars. Morgan, I guess that wouldn't just make more sense considering I think she's another character that I just don't know about yet. Barriss, from all the talk that's been going on and what I've been told, this is the first bit of thing you've gotten since Clone Wars. So it feels like that's sort of the odd one out, and it feels like there should be much more story. It feels like there should be much more story for not just the audience to know, but for also the story to go into. I feel like her story should have been, she joined the Inquisitors, episode 1, joining it, then have her be part of it for a while, actually have her go down into it, episode 2, be one of those missions, and then episode 3, her come out of it. I think that would have been a little bit better, because it feels so quick in what's happening. It feels like with Morgan's one, you had the whole Dathomir thing, time jump, and then that's the same thing that they did with Dooku and Ahsoka. All of it was like little mini stories taking up pinpoints throughout their lives that were spread out. This one is different in the sense that it feels like it's happened just after her inauguration into the Inquisitors. It doesn't feel like a lot of time has passed, because if it had, she'd be a whole lot darker. This was her first mission, I guess, dealing with a Jedi and seeing what the result of that mission would be. It makes total sense that she'd not go through with it, but I just feel like if she isn't, then what's the point of her joining it? I mean, yes, she joined it to survive, but it feels very almost surface level. There's not a lot to go into. It's just she joined it to survive, and when it came down to it, she didn't go through with it. That's basically it. It just means that she's exactly where she was when she accused the Jedi of all their stuff, murderous, all that stuff, the treason. It's exactly where she was then, carried through. She isn't really going through anything here. It's just that she got locked up, chose to choose the option to survive, and when she saw her way out, she took it. That's basically it, and it feels very short, and it feels very just contained, and it's not a lot to sort of spread out like the other ones we've seen have. Not saying it's bad, I still enjoyed it, I just think there's more that could have been done there. But even if she is just a good Jedi, like Qui-Gon, where she saw through the Jedi Council's corruption and their dissent, she still could have become darker herself. She could have, because she feels more like than Ahsoka. Ahsoka still fell for what the Jedi were, how they were like the best, even though they were sort of corrupted and all that. Yet Barriss has just been above it all the time, sort of. She has killed now, so there is that for darkness, but that wasn't gone into. I wish that is what happened. I wish they had gone into the darkness that she must have gotten from taking a life. That is what she did. She strangled someone and broke their neck and then let the body fall. That was a child that she killed. Yes, it was to save her own life, but it still should have taken something from her. Yet it feels like it didn't affect her at all. That is what I wish this went into more. The Inquisitors do seem very interesting. I like that they've taken the place of the Jedi Order, so that makes more sense in my mind for what the galaxy is situated as, that they are this position that the Jedi had. They are like the, I guess, religious sector, so like church and state is the Republic and the Inquisitors, and that's what's replaced the Jedi. So that is where they are, and that's their purpose. So they're the ones that will go around taking care of the Force sensitives. I do wonder if they're going to expand their rankings, because Barriss sort of offered the Jedi in this one to have a new life, so I'm assuming that they would expand on it, and it isn't just 5. Then that does make weird, like why make Barriss and the other Padawan fight to the death if you were going to let them join anyway, because clearly it didn't work, because Barriss didn't turn to the dark side from it, so that feels a little bit pointless in that. And if you're just going to expand your ranks anyway, why not just both have them join and both let them turn to the dark side over time? Yeah, I do like that we didn't get a lot of information on them here. They still feel very mysterious to me, so I'm assuming I'll get more info in another show where it goes more in depth onto what on earth they are, but I do just like them. They still kind of have this mysticism and mystery around them that the Jedi have. They feel weird, but they don't feel as spiritual as the Jedi. They feel far more militant. The way they're dressed is not in the robes that the Jedi have. They're lightsabers on their back, so it's not like hidden in a pocket or in a sleeve or something. It's fully on display on their back that they can reach for, and it's much more, I guess, I wouldn't say impressive than the Jedi's, seeing that there's almost standard issue now. They feel like a police force rather than what the Jedi felt. The Jedi had sort of customization. These ones are just full-on militant, all the same, all dressed in black, and it seems like, I don't know if the other two had the same. Yeah, the bird guy, I think he had the same type of lightsaber. So it seems like there is the standard issue type of lightsaber. 2 double blades, red, rotating, and I guess that's just weird in itself. It feels like it's standardized. It feels very much that they feel like the clone troopers in the sense, or not clone, stormtroopers, that they're not allowed to be customized and they are just one force. They are the Inquisitors, they're not individuals. Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting more on them after this, because it's definitely felt like just a little hint. It was like teasing what on earth they are, because they feel very powerful. But in this, we didn't get to see a lot of it. We got to see that Vader has involvement with them, which sounds incredible. And the one Inquisitor that we got to see the most of was, I think, Lynn. She seemed good, but she got knocked out by the Jedi she was hunting and then got thrown off a cliff. So that feels a bit of a shame there, that the one Inquisitor we got to see so much of. No, because like even the last one that we got to see got taken out very quickly by Ahsoka. So they're clearly not the best trained. But I'm assuming if they are being trained by Vader, they were powerful in the dark side of the Force. Because the one guy, the white, big-headed dude, he seemed pretty good with how he dealt with Barriss. So interested to see like what are the power levels in all of them. So I do like how this episode sort of teased what they are. Yeah, looking at Big Head then, and I guess Lynn as well, it's just how on earth is the Order 66 thing applied to them? Because they all know each other. I'm assuming they're Jedi, they're trained, they must have been Jedi in the past to actually have this understanding of the Force, Padawans, all of this. So they must have been part of the Jedi Order, and somehow they managed to escape Order 66, and not only that, but actually join the Empire and work for them while also being in the Force. I can understand a Jedi going into hiding and not using the Force and letting it die inside them and then still going back to the Empire and joining it as maybe like a trooper or a commander or something, but actually being still active with the Force and going back to them feels odd. Palpatine's whole massacre of them was basically religious in the sense he wanted to wipe out all the other people that used the Force aside from the Sith. Yet to allow them to live and to... it might kind of make sense in the sense that he's allowing them to live as almost a caricature or a mockery of what they once were. He's twisted what the Jedi were so much that they're allowing these survivors to come back and wield the Force in such a distorted way. They're not even allowed to learn the deeper secrets of the dark side of the Force because of the rule of 2. They are just allowed surface level stuff, and it is still killing off what the Jedi were. Their memory is now even more destroyed in the sense that what has been left over from them are this. But yeah, Big Head looks cool. I believe they called him the Grand Inquisitor in this episode, the episode 5, and that's what they refer to Vader as. But the big-headed dude seemed like the leader since he was sort of standing closest to Vader and not in line with Bird Dude, the one with the cloak, Lin, and Barriss. So I'm assuming he's on like another rank to them, so I'd assume Grand Inquisitor for him. But yeah, looking forward. I hope we get more on him now, because the way he fought Barriss seemed very interesting. He clearly knew what he was doing. He seemed more competent than the other Inquisitors that we've seen. So I'm hoping that we get to see him again, just to see more fight scenes like that. Yeah, overall, episode 1, I think that I probably enjoyed that one more than this one, in the sense that we got to see the aftermath of what the Empire did in Order 66 in terms of the Jedi. We've seen the aftermath of Order 66 on the clones. We've seen it kind of with... No, I didn't really see it in Revenge of the Sith because it basically ended with Order 66. This one goes into what has actually happened with the Jedi, what's done with the leftover Jedi, and we've got to see... I think the Jedi Temple get blown up in the distance when Barriss was looking at it. So I'm assuming that's what that was. So we've got to see that bits and pieces. And if these guys are... if the Inquisitors are like the new Jedi in regard to how the system is set up in just society, the new thing they're building seems like their headquarters. So I'm assuming that's the new Jedi Temple for the Inquisitors, because I believe... I have been told Palpatine takes over the Jedi Temple and uses that as like a palace or something. Makes sense to just decimate it even more. So this new place that they built seems like their sort of headquarters. So I do like the little seeds we've gotten in that episode and how much it did tease for what the Inquisitors are without giving a bunch away. As a story in that was also cool, just to seeing that she did everything she did to survive. And I do like that episode as an intro and an origin for her journey into the Inquisitors and just maybe going into the dark side to survive and just live and understand and adapt to this new galaxy. As in episode 2 though, I feel like that was much too quick. I feel like we should have seen a mission with her back actually in this sort of thing, actually come to accept it. If she's still hesitant in episode 1, episode 2's mission, go into it, go in depth and actually take out this Jedi, go evil, go into the dark side and have it corrupt her, but then let it come out or let her fight against it and whatever's after. The fact that she's basically gone against it in the first mission she's gone on, because it's got to be the first mission where she's dealing with a Jedi as an Inquisitor. She's clearly never gone into the dark side at all. That feels like a bit of a shame to me. However, I do like the back and forth she had with Lin. It shows that there's still a bunch of conflict. What they wanted to do was show that Barriss had conflict with what was going on. It's clear that she didn't know what she was getting into, yet she still holds the values that she's so stricken to. That's what's keeping her in the light side. That's why her eyes aren't going yellow, why she isn't falling into the dark side from the Force thing. I just feel like as a story point of view, it would have been better to have her go into the dark side and come out of it. But having her stay fully on the light side and just working through the Inquisitors to survive, it's interesting. I am coming around on the idea now, just seeing that it's basically this was just her option to survive. She didn't go into it, she played along and got out of it as soon as she could, and this is just what she had to do. Now it's letting her story continue. Yeah, Lin in this episode feels... she was awesome in the, I guess, massacre scene, seeing that sort of what the Inquisitors do, dealing that to civilians. That was civilians. So they just destroyed all of them. It's clear that they have this giant anger issue, and that's what the dark side's feeding on. It's the anger within each of these dark side soldiers. And this is sort of the result. They'll go and do this nuts sort of thing. It's interesting that she did let the one kid leave. So there is almost an honor system there, where the one that did give them the information is allowed to live. So there is some kind of rule that they do follow. That it isn't just massacre everyone. Those that give them information will be allowed to live. So she isn't sort of a hypocrite in the sense that she fully is going on with what she believes the Inquisitors are meant to do. Eradicate the Jedi, eradicate insurgents, and let those who go along with the Empire flourish. That's what she's doing. That was what the kid did, so now he's not exactly going to flourish, but he's allowed to live. That's it. A fight scene with the other Jedi, that was cool, but then again, it just showed off, I guess, her weakness. The Jedi will always, I guess, be better since they're on the light side. They are the good guys, so having Lin fail makes sense. I do hope we get to see some Inquisitors that are actually stronger, because we've seen them. All I've seen right now is the bird guy, who died very quickly because it was Ahsoka, obviously, and Lynn, who just sort of got beaten by a regular Jedi, who we've never seen before, and that just feels kind of weak for the Inquisitors, which are meant to, I guess, be the Empire's dark side soldiers. But yeah, I did like the back and forth between her and Barriss, just talking about what the Jedi is meant to be, what the rebels are at this point, or this sort of what they are talking about with chaos and order, that sort of thing. I do like that back and forth, that because it did show that Barriss was kind of on board with the Empire. She did go into it a little bit and sort of defend what order is, how the Empire could achieve order, but how the Inquisitors are going about it is all wrong. So yeah, what's next for her? I've got no idea. So she's saying that she won't let this person die, that she's there for them. So she has left it. She threw Lynn off a cliff, and she's still stuck on this planet, but she has a ship. So I'm assuming she'll be fine. But now, how does she live throughout the Empire? How does she survive now? Because she is still a Jedi. I'm assuming now that means other Inquisitors will go after her, because she is now, as she's put it herself, a Jedi, unless they think she's dead. If she and Lynn don't return, maybe they could assume that she's dead, but then they could send other Inquisitors there to think that there's actually a Jedi there capable of killing them. So that she still has to be on the run then from the Empire. But it does make me wonder where her story can go now, that she's managed to escape the Empire like this so quickly. I think the thing I feel off about this episode is that it's so quick. I feel, yes, it makes sense that she would work through the Empire and the Inquisitors to get out, but it's just so quick, and I don't like that. I feel like more time should have been given. That's my only sort of complaint here that's making me feel off about this story. See, I guess what I want next is just time. Have it like a good time jump of what's going on. Is she more set in what she's done and going against it? What's like the conflict within her? Is she still just perfect in the sense that she's not considering the dark side, not considering the Empire, not the Inquisitors, is she just perfect and just being good and going against it? Or does she have any fluctuation or internal conflict onto what is good, what is wrong? What's the compelling thing here? Because I feel like I just watched her go through it. There wasn't anything where I wondered, is she going into it? Is she not? There wasn't a moment where the dark side latched onto her and sort of tempted her. She was just good throughout. It felt like she was in the heart of it, and I felt like anyone should have sort of gone a little bit dark, but there wasn't a moment there. So I think what I want next is just let time happen, let time pass, and just see what happens with her there. Yeah, overall, did enjoy Barriss' story with the Empire. I do get it now that it's basically just her route for survival, to work through these things, to get out of the Empire. I think it's just quite short. And yes, that makes sense for Tales of the Empire, but when you look at the other stories, they all had plenty of time jumps to see how the characters developed off screen. It gave them more things to do. Morgan, she went from Dathomir's destruction to working her way up to being able to become a magistrate on a planet and offer resources or plans to the Empire. Then it gave her her little story in episode 2. That is something that I wish they kind of did here, that they just gave it more time. Have her be in the Inquisitors for longer. Maybe she go into it a bit more and then come out of it and actually sort of break free from the dark side. So the fact that she didn't get tempted is, I think, what's rubbing me the wrong way here. I feel like they could have tempted her at least a little bit. Because like no one's sort of fully free from the dark side. Even Luke went into it a little bit when he fought Palpatine and then came out of it. No, when he fought Vader, not Palpatine. So when that happened in the Return of the Jedi, he went a little bit into it, then out of it. So even Luke, of all people, went into it and out. Barriss just feels too perfect. I wish that she went a little bit into it and then a little bit out and then managed to get out of it in this episode that we saw. Yeah, do like that she's come back. Do like that her story's been continued and now it leaves her somewhere for the character to be continued. Because she's an awesome character. I love Barriss. I'm glad that she is got this route, that she's now free from the Empire, or at least out of it, and she can go do Jedi stuff and whatever, and she's still a hero. So but I think it would have been cool to see her as a villain for some time. But now that she is out, I'm glad, and now her story can continue, and she can go do other things. Happy with that. So with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. Now this is the last video I'm going to do on Tales of the Empire for a while, until episode 3 and 6 line up with the timeline. So hopefully that does mean there's a time jump. Hopefully. I'll basically be reacting to those just before Rebels. So that'll give me some time to when they should line up. So yeah, that means now moving on to another show, which will be The Acolyte. And I figured get that, because I know it's meant to be set before, like everything, like 100 years before Phantom Menace. So I figured get that one done, and then go back to the Empire stuff, because it's chronological order. Otherwise, I'll keep going through things, and it'll still have to get back to The Acolyte eventually, which will still be set in the past. So get it done now. Because I feel like it'll be cool, because it's Bad Batch Season 3 was recent, Tales of the Empire recent, Acolyte recent. So we get to see sort of what's going on in the recent world of Star Wars before going back into sort of the older stuff. Yeah, with that said, I will see you in Acolyte Episode 1. See ya!